I have no idea why I'm going for another 20-ton Scout Mech with a somewhat bug name. It's like 3 in a row now. First it was the Flea, then the Locust, and now this, the Stinger. Stinger isn't exactly a bug name, but bugs have stingers, or at least some of them do, so it's a bug. The only reason why there's 3 is because I mistook the Locust for the Flea. So it was only supposed to be 2. But here we are at the next 20-ton stop. The Stinger. And unlike the other 2, this one looks very distinct and extra anime.
Fuck you!
Technologies are usually the most colorful or diverse in the early years of their existence. Just look at cars. When the automobile was invented, a bunch of companies, big and small, joined in the bandwagon and tried to put their own little spin on the technology to try to pioneer and revolutionize it. Some worked, but most failed. We can actually see it right now with EVs. Bunch of new and old companies trying to make the next big thing. And just like before, some worked, while most failed. In the early years of the mech era, a similar thing happened. A whole bunch of companies went head first into this new industry and introduced their own takes on specific types of mechs, resulting in a variety of mech designs that honestly serve the same purpose. And just like the cars, some are more successful than others. It's not exactly a one-to-one comparison, because as far as I'm aware at least, there is no fully extinct mech design. I mean, there are periods where mechs have gone extinct, but they have all made a return. The companies that make these mechs, some of them have gone like under, getting destroyed or whatever, but their products, their legacy, continue on in one way or another. The Stinger was Earthworks Incorporated. This is the Terran Earthworks, not the Capellan Earthworks. Take on a scout mech. While the hegemony armed forces was looking to build up their mech scouting force, the Stinger was one of the 2 designs that were adopted in a large scale. The other one being the similar looking and functioning WAPs. They were so similar in fact that General Mechanics, the producers of the WAPs, repeatedly filed copyright suits to Earthworks, but they eventually backed down after 20 years as the legal costs were becoming unsustainable. And so, Earthworks continued production, and eventually the Stinger became the second most produced mech, just behind the WAPs. At its peak, the Stinger numbered around 200,000 before the start of the Secession Wars, but that number was immensely reduced to a mere 5,000 by the start of the 4th one. While the Stinger was built for scouting and reconnaissance during the Secession Wars, many were pressed into training duties to replace the ever-dwindling number of specialty training mechs, such as the Chameleon. The Stinger, surprisingly, proved useful in this role too, as the iron sights on the arm machine guns proved very useful to train mech warriors in delicate arm and hand operations. The Stinger starts off with the 3 series. Not sure what happened to the first 2, but The 3R is the first Stinger released in the year 2479 by Earthworks Incorporated. Built upon the 20-ton Earthworks STG chassis, it carries a GM120 engine that propels it to 97 km per hour. The Stinger is also one of the first few mechs to incorporate jump jets into its design, with 6 Shilton 360 jets giving it 180 meters of jumping distance. It carries 3 tons of Reese 100 standard armor and is armed with 2 LFN limb bolt machine guns, which are used for anti-infantry duties and also lightly armored targets, while an Omnicron 3000 meter laser is used for heavier targets. These weapons are linked to a Battletech 900 targeting system, while the communications are done using a Datacom 26. Cooling all these systems down are just 10 heat sinks, which is more than enough for the heat generated. The biggest issue with the Stinger is its very cramped cockpit. Smaller pilots may be able to adjust to it, but most pilots won't even be able to exit their mechs without outside help. The mech itself is quite reliable, with long periods between maintenance cycles, and the sheer availability of it make parts easy to source. A slightly more lethal variant, the 3G, introduced over a century later, trades the machine guns for another medium laser and an extra ton of armor. Pilots of this variant will have to consider heat management, as the extra laser can put it over the maximum threshold. A specific 3G, model CS233, manifested some kind of virus that messes with computers. Comstar later extracted the computer virus and tried to weaponize it. The virus is later called the White Rhino. Royal Guard units of the SLDF get access to the 3GB variant. This Stinger comes with an XL140 engine, which gives it 118 km per hour, and an extra jump jet which gives it 210 meters of jumping distance. The 3GB gets a new endosteel chassis which saves weight for an extra 0.5 tons of armor and a full energy loadout of 3 mediums and a small laser. This increase in heat generation is offset with 10 double heat sinks. Later on, after the fall of the Star League, the 3GB became the most common variant found in the Innisphere. The latest 3 series would be the 3P, which was introduced during the Jihad. The 3P is more of a common refit rather than a factory-produced model. Techs replaced the internals with endosteel, and the armor is also apparently changed to 4 tons of ferrofibrous armor. I say apparently because, based on MegaMech, which I have to say isn't an official software, the armor is standard. If I change it to Ferro, it becomes an invalid design. Everything else checks out, but except for this. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's like a bug or something. Maybe there's a retcon, but I couldn't find one. But if there's a retcon, please do tell me. But anyway, the weapons were swapped for either a single Lord's Light 3 or a Fusagon Mini Light PPC. Just like the Locust, given how widespread this mech is, there are many characters that are associated with it. Captain Scope Kinagao, once a Kurita pilot, defected to the Magistrate of Canopus because supposedly he fell in love with the magistrates of that time. Yella. I don't know if the love is reciprocated or not, but there he became a mech instructor. Bor Salander of House Davion has the very specific distinction of having survived the most Stinger destruction. By 3025, he had survived and lost 9 Stingers. Tai E. March Sippers was a 16-year-old pilot that evolved her famous mentor Mercer Ravionon's tactic of using a bunch of light mechs in a horde. This horde tactic relies on light mechs just swarming something, using their speed and agility to overwhelm a force. The one time it was used didn't go too well for Mercer, but March here evolved a tactic to include some medium mechs, namely the Jenner, due to formation, and it apparently works. There was one account of 4 Stingers piloted by cadets that managed to almost kill an elite Black Widow WAPS pilot that decided to attack the one girl in the team who everybody had a crush on. During the Jihad, Sergeant Teresa Davenport acquired a 3P during her stint as a resistance fighter on Rokba. She used the Stinger as bait to draw out Blake's forces into ambushes. That plan only worked for 3 times, the 4th time resulting in her losing the mech to a field gun. John Juan, or later Johnny Mace, was a mercenary operating during the Secession Wars. Overconfident and quite a flirt, John was blacklisted by countless employers due to his reputation. During a stint at the planet Shiloh, John was captured and put into a labor camp in which he later converted to the Exituri faith, which blends beliefs from multiple religions. Eventually, he volunteered to join the local Griffons regiment, where he took command of Bravo Company. Other pilots include Alex Ward, a Black Widow who has a gambling problem, Xerxes Mard, a con man that went around parading as a Galaxy commander from Clan Punisher, Matthias von Balthus. He was in charge of keeping an eye on a suspected traitorous unit, but failed to do that. Valgarn Harlan, a mech instructor that was quite well versed on clan tactics and culture. He later found out that he has ancestry from Clan Wolverine and decided to tell his colleagues, who were former clan members, about it. They killed him. Marcus Norman, whose unit crash-landed deep inside the Central American jungle during the Assault on Terra, conducted a months-long raid campaign on Blake's positions, only to find out later they were not Blake's positions. They were allies. He killed his own dudes. Remember this guy? Roloka's video? Well, this is his eternal enemy, Reginald Benton. They keep fighting, and they still do. Finally, we got Jacob Denny. He took down 3 mechs while fighting inside a factory. A single 4 series variant was created by Bergen way later, after the 5th and the 6th series were a thing. The 4G was Bergen's attempt to make the Stinger faster. The chassis is made of endosteel and the engine is a 140 XL engine, pushing it to 118 km per hour. It comes with 4.5 tons of center armor and 2 medium pulse lasers, which are cooled down with 10 double heat sinks. Pilots of this variant tend to use this Stinger in more direct combat roles due to its heavier damage output. The 5 series of Stinger began with the 5M, with the discovery of the Helm memory core. Earthworks moved to incorporate the original 3R with the rediscovered technology. The chassis is now Earthworks STG-2 endosteel, and an extra 0.5 tons of armor was added. The medium laser was retained, but the machine guns were removed for a flame-type flamer and a Lembot shotgun anti-missile system. Around the mid-3000s, the Touring Concordat was looking into revamping their scout forces. At first, they were going to choose the Capellan WAPS 3L, as they were part of the Trinity Alliance around that time. However, due to a growing rift in the alliance, the Taurians opted to develop their own. The Widow Blake offered the Periphery Nation assistance to the development in exchange for the first few batches of this new Stinger. The 5R is based on the original 3R, but with 3 tons of Duralex Light Ferrofibrous armor. Now, Duralex Light is just the name of the armor. It's not light ferrofibrous armor. It's just normal ferrofibrous armor. Duralex Light is just the name of it. And the weapons were swapped for a diverse optics ER medium and 2 Death Blossom Rocket 15s. Other systems are also switched to more localized or easier to obtain brands such as the Rawlings 52 Jumpjets, the Vox 120 engine, Garrett 10B communications, and the OP 911 targeting system. The biggest change to this mech is the replacement of the head to one capable of fully ejecting itself from the body. The mech was designed in a way so that they could retrofit their current storage of old Stingers into this new package. Another periphery model developed by another Trinity Alliance state, the Magistrate of Canopus, was created just a year later. Now, it doesn't explicitly say that it was based on the 5R, but it's basically just a refit. The 5T carries 2 Doombud MML3s and an XL120 engine. 15T, piloted by Ensign Alexander Rice of the Magistry, managed to trick a Republic relief column into thinking there were an entire lance waiting for them by just constantly shooting all of his missiles. The latest 5 series is the 5G, which is just a refit of 4G. Bergen replaced the 2 medium pulses for a light PPC with capacitor installed and also gave it full head ejection. The Capellans began the 6 series of the Stinger, beginning with the 6L. The 6L incorporates 4.5 tons of stealth armor and the required Guardian ECM to its design. But in order to facilitate this, the chassis had to be swapped for endo steel and the jump jets were removed. The lack of jump jets were somewhat offsetted with a new LTV 160 engine which gives it a top speed of 130 km per hour. But the weapons were fairly light, with only 2 mediums. The Lyrians also decided to dip their toes into the Stinger market with the 6S. Based on the original 3R, it offers 3 tons of heavy ferrofibrous armor and a light 140 engine that is paired with mask. This allows it a top speed of 151 km per hour with mask activated. An additional jump jet was also installed, giving it 210 meters of jumping distance. The weapons remain almost unchanged, with the original weapons being swapped for ER and light models. The biggest drawback of the 6S is the even cramped cockpit, but the head does fully eject. The next model is the 6M, which is just a refit of 5M. It gained double heat sinks and the weapons were swapped for an ER flamer, ER medium, and a laser anti-missile system. The 6M is commonly seen with the Merrick Space. Bergen continued on with the G line of the 6G. The head ejection system was removed, but it does gain an extra jump jet. The weapons are similar to the original 3R, with 2 LFN Limbolt machine guns and a diverse optics Type 25 PX medium X pulse laser. The latest 6 series is actually the latest Stinger model in general, the 6R. This model carries 10 double heat sinks, an XL LTV 160 engine capable of pushing the mech to 130 km per hour, and gains 2 extra jump jets. Its weapons are also similar to the original, with a diverse optics ER medium and 2 series Model 8 heavy machine guns. The 6R was intended strictly as a scout, with pilots encouraged to leave immediately and not engage after getting their data. The Lyrians decided to make another Stinger, not a decade later. They started the 7 series, the 7S. It is basically just a 3R with endo steel, an XL engine with the same power, a head ejection system, and 8 improved jump jets, giving it 240 meters of distance. Now apparently the 7S was made to be better at fighting mechs, but it only carries a single weapon, an ER medium, and for whatever reason the right leg has more armor than the left leg. Before their return to the Innisphere, the clans extensively used the Stinger as a trainer. Clan Hell's Horses developed the Stinger C, which has endo steel and 4 tons of standard armor, all being clan grade components. Its weapons were upgraded from the original 3R with clan machine guns, their ammo being stored inside a clan K system. The medium is now a clan ER, and a clan small pulse laser was also added. The other clans found the Stinger C to be a competent mech design for low-level duties and trial fights. Clan Blood Spirits decided to improve upon the design with the Stinger C2. The C2 is a simple weapon swap, changing the machine guns for another ER medium. Now in the beginning I did mention that this thing looks anime, and that's because it is anime. The original design at least was from Macross. So back then when Battletech was still owned by, was it FASA? They, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason, maybe there's a reason, but I just don't forget or I don't know, but For whatever reason, some mech designs visually at least, not just not lore or weapons design, but visually. Actually, maybe the weapons were based on the visual aspect, whatever. But visually, the mechs were yoinked legally from Japan, from animes, not just one anime, but multiple animes, or not anime, just anything Japan like IPs. Legally, I say they were licensed. As I mentioned earlier, this stinger is from across. I think the Wops is also from across, but I think was it the Rifleman? The Rifleman is also from an anime, and the Battle Master, I think, is it the Griffin? Either the Battle Master or the Griffin is also from anime, and there's there's more of them. I don't remember all of them. I think the Locust and the Flea also was from anime. When they sold Battletech to, was it Catalyst now? The licenses didn't carry over, so they couldn't use like the old, what do you call it, the old look. So they had to like reprint the books to like get rid of. They got rid of the mechs. They didn't just get rid of the pictures. They got rid of the mech, but the mech still existed in canon, but they weren't like used in like TROs or whatever. But they still exist in canon. I don't know why it took them so long to like create new looks for them, but it took them a while before they like actually made new looks for them, which then they were using that they were able to reintroduce the mechs back into canon. They were already canon, but they were canon, but you couldn't see them. Plus, they used the term unseen. The unseen is the in-universe term that they used to describe mechs with that didn't have a like what do you call that, a concrete look, I guess. But they've fixed that now, and I think they reintroduced it back to canon, or back to visual canon, let's say, with Project Phoenix, I believe. This could be like its own video. I probably should turn this to its own video. But anyway, back to Stinger. There are like 2 more variants. There's the Lamb variant, and there's also like the Stinger 2. I chose not to include these 2 in this video because from how I see things, like the fact that they got their own pages in Sarna and not like they're not like bundled together in this one page, I see them as like separate mechs, so I'm not gonna include them together in this one. I'll do a separate video for them. Like I think the Lambs will be just one video, and for clan mechs or just new mechs in general, some of the newer mechs they don't have a lot of variants. Some of them don't even have variants, so these mechs with like little to no variants, I'll put them like in like their video of their own. So maybe I can do like 3 separate mechs with like little to no variants in one video. So that's like 3 different video ideas. I could do that. But anyway, that's the Stinger. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what you see, please do consider subscribing and leaving a like. That's helped me a lot. If you'd like to support me, please do consider joining. Please do consider joining the Elite Pilot memberships. There's not much I can offer right now other than the tanks, but hopefully maybe down the line I'll be able to do a lot more member exclusive stuff. Or maybe you can like maybe you can suggest what I could do for you, or extra stuff for you, since you're you're actually paying me. But anyway, I stream games too here. I got a Twitch if you prefer Twitch. I got that, but I multi-stream, so both the streams do go both here and Twitch. So just pick and choose whatever you like. Got Discord as well. Got like 70 people in it, but it's like quiet as a ghost town. But I do post memes every day. Not my memes I yoink from somewhere, and I post it there. Might be offensive, might not be. Well, that's that's subjective, I guess. Comedy is a bit subjective, is it not? But yeah, next video, a pilot did ask for the fire moth in the flea video, the locust video. We're doing that. The fire moth, the next video. Another bug mech, it seems. Oh my god, we're just going on a roll of these bug mechs, huh? But yeah, it will be the fire moth. But yeah, that's been me, pilots. Until the next mission, the next sortie. Take care, and I'll see you all then. Goodbye.